Hey, good morning everyone, how's it going? So, back onto this Grand Prix, and it did lose some pressure, but here's the thing. Did it actually lose it because it got a leak, or did it lose it because of the tool itself? So, here we're looking at the gauge. It was up at around 15, so now it's crept down to about 8. So it lost about half, but you gotta remember something. You have this connection here, which there's no clamp to it. You have whatever these fittings are here. Like, do I have any leaks in here? Do I have a leak here? Do I have a leak here? Anywhere in here? You never know. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this up in the air and we're gonna take a look underneath and see what we got. I mean, I see oil on the ground. I do see what appears to be some coolant. Must have moved a hair. It may have a little leak of some sort, but then again, it could be what was stuck on the frame. You just don't know. I mean, I would think if it lost 8 psi, there'd be a lot more coolant on the floor. But we're about to find out. So nothing extravagant here. I mean, I see a drip mark over here, but that could be from when I took the radiator cap off yesterday. I do see a drip mark there on that bolt. See that? And there's a drip mark on the edge of the tensioner. So what could that be from? I don't know. Let's let this back down now. Definitely has an oil leak. So let's see what we can't figure out. These motors are notorious for intake gaskets leaking. I've also seen a number of head gaskets leak externally. They're not known for leaking internally, they're known for leaking externally. But let's just take a look, see if we can't see anything. I may just have to hose this whole thing down, clean it all off, and then road test it and see if we can't figure something out. All right. So intake gaskets are down in there, but I don't really see anything. Could be a front cover too, maybe has a slight leak. It's really hard to say. The coolant that's on that bolt down there, could it have been splash over from when it boiled over and pushed coolant out of this? Anything is possible. But honestly, I think for now, all I'm going to do is take the pressure gauge off of it, make sure the coolant level's full, put the wheel back on it, start it, get it hot. I'm going to probably clean everything down. Oh, let me verify the oil level real quick, just in case, because I have seen intake gaskets on these leak and actually push the coolant into the oil. So let's just check it real quick. And as you can see, the oil's fine. It would have pushed it up, and it's a bit low anyway, so I don't think there's a problem there. All right, so let me bleed off the cooling system real quick. Oops. See? It is pouring it out onto the floor here. I gotta wash the floor anyway, but. All right. At least the system's empty now. Put that to the side. Yeah, level's pretty good. think I am going to get a new cap though, because if you see the cap here, see how what the seal here looks like? And plus it's kind of munged up. So let me get a new cap on order. Let me start this thing up. All right, I'm gonna get it warm. I'm gonna spray the underside of this with some degreaser, spray it down. That's actually what Jaden's doing over here on a Caravan that had a leaking oil cooler, and they put oil everywhere. So, all right, let me let this run. We're gonna clean this all down. So we use a concentrated degreaser, and what I did was what we do is we put it into this spray bottle. You know, like what you would use for weeds in your yard, and I just sprayed everything on this. So now I'm going to hose it all down. There you see, it's all sudsed up. That's really it. I mean, I'm not going to go bananas on scrubbing it or anything like that. Just like that is fine. So now I'm just actually rinsing down the floor, but I can't grab the camera. I can do this though. That's all. All right, you get the general idea. So let's change the oil real quick on this thing. Should be a 15. Okay, good. Somebody didn't brutalize it. People brutalize drain plugs and over-tighten the snot out of them. Whoever did this last didn't do that. Alright, so we're going to let that drain. That should be good like that. I got to go make sure we have a filter for this and oil and stuff like that. So let me get all that going while this thing drains out. No reason to watch the whole thing. So that's all fully drained out. So let's put the drain plug back in and let's change the filter. All right. You see it just nicely snugged that down. It does have a torque spec, but you kind of get used to how things are supposed to be tightened. You don't want to go bananas. All right, so I had already cracked the filter free by hand before. Luckily, whoever changed it last didn't go nuts on tightening it, so I was able to loosen it by hand. All right. So always look at your old filter. I don't know if you can see it. Make sure the gasket is on there. Put your hand up top here. Feel where the gasket goes. Basically running your finger along it. I know some people are going to say I should wear gloves. Yeah, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It really depends on my mood and what I'm doing. Okay. So I always tighten them by hand, and like I go to the point where I could feel it getting tight, but it's like I could still back off on it by hand. And that's kind of where I leave it. So right there, it's tight, it's good. I'm happy with that. Let me find some brake clean so I can clean that off, the bit that's splashed. Hang on one second. All right, just move you a little more, some brake clean. And that should be good. All right, so now all I'm going to do is I'm going to check tire pressures. I'm going to let it down, put oil in it, and then we're going to take this thing for a road test, make sure everything's good. So the oil's in, it's topped off, the new cap is on, and we are ready to go for a road test. Now one thing, I spoke to the customer. It turns out too, the customer was actually filling that up to the top, to the brim, thinking that that's how it's supposed to be, and it's not. Just so you know, you're never supposed to fill those overflow tanks, the ones that have caps like this. Like if it has a pressurized cap like this, so it's an expansion tank, it's different. You have a fill level, well you have it with this too, but this is an expansion tank. So basically what happens too is, or the overflow tank, as the fluid level rises, it's going to pour out back there. So that's something you got to be mindful of. Even on an expansion tank one, it has a level. Make sure you fill it to the level, because if you overfill it, it's going to pour out somewhere. So they were filling it to the top, and that'll create a big coolant leak too. One thing I wanted to show you, this has nothing to do with me. So somebody did a repair here, and they did a partially good job. They used non-insulated butt connectors to repair this. However, they didn't use marine grade heat shrink. So this is going to allow moisture and stuff to get inside, and that's going to eventually be a problem, or it could be a potential problem. So it's just something to think about. I'm going to mention it to the customer, see what they have to say. But it's basically all set and ready to go. Going to take it for a road test and see what happens. Should be fine though. I don't see why it wouldn't be. So okay, I went for a 12-mile road test and everything went perfectly fine. Temperature stayed consistent at the mark that it's on there, which is 160, 170, 185, like 190-ish roughly. It stayed pretty consistent right there. It didn't change. Everything else feels perfectly fine. Gonna need a set of tires and that, but no big deal. Anyway, a lot of comments on the previous video in regards to, oh, why didn't I clean off the motor and stuff like that. At the time, here's the reason I didn't. At the time, it wasn't necessary. Excuse me. Had I cleaned off the motor then, I would have had to wait a while to work on it. I hate working like when the floor is wet and stuff like that. Yeah, I could have squeegeed and all the other stuff like I did today, but you know, there again, it takes time. I just didn't feel like doing it. That's the real reason that I didn't do it. Plus, if I go ahead and I clean the motor on every single car that comes in to get a better vantage of whatever I'm doing, it's time consuming. It really is. It's time consuming. And customers honestly don't want to pay for it because they don't look underneath the hood. Customers don't look under the hood. They don't look underneath the car. They don't go crawling underneath it and say, oh, look, it's oil all over the place. They don't care, most of them. So that's the real reason I don't do it. There's questions about why I didn't use washers on those bolts that I put through. The reason I didn't use washers on the bolts, it was unnecessary, honestly. The bolts just barely fit through the holes in that puller. So the heads of them basically were big enough, so I wasn't worried about them like passing through or anything like that. It was never going to happen. If I had to use like a smaller diameter bolt, yeah, the head is going to be smaller, and yeah, it may run the risk of passing through the tool or, you know, pulling the head off or something like that. I wasn't concerned. That's the reason I didn't use washers. That's all. No, there's no rhyme or reason to it. That's just the reason I did what I did. I don't know if I mentioned it. Somebody did mention something about that I put any kind of lube on the end of the drive shaft, crankshaft, or did I put anything on the inside of the new pulley? I did actually put a little bit of the assembly gel on there. I wiped it real quick after I got everything installed. You may not have seen it in the video, but I did. Let's see, anything else? No, I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it. All right, let's actually go underneath the hood and take a look and see what we got. But like I said, I'm happy with this repair. I think everything's going to be good. So let me just get out of this. And this is why I don't like cars anymore. I'm getting old. But yeah, let's open up the hood. Let's look under the hood. So, oops. It's gonna need tires too. Edges are pretty bald. Oops. So I am confident that the coolant leak that occurred was because the belt came off and there was no coolant flow. So it pushed coolant out, a combination of over here at the radiator cap and there through the expansion tank. It's an overflow tank. It's not an expansion tank. If it had a radiator cap, like a pressure cap, then it's an expansion tank. But yeah, I'm confident. I don't even smell coolant anymore. Like you saw, I did clean it off. Put the belts on. Nice. Everything's good. It stayed tight. Didn't have to replace the belt because it looked fine. So basically that's it. That's all we're going to do with this one. She'll be happy. I mean, it wasn't a killer repair, but now at least it's repaired the right way. So she'll be happy with that. All right. Well, hopefully I answered some questions. Hopefully you got something out of that video. If you look down in the description below, you'll see I do have links to Amazon products that I personally use. I'd appreciate it if you guys could give it a click. If you buy something, even better. It does help me. I do get something for that. But I'm not asking you to. You don't have to. Anyway, that's about it. All right. Hopefully you got something out of that video. If you did, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. All right, guys. Have a great day. Keep wrenching.